The Kdam Eurovision, in short known as the Kdam, is the Israeli national pre-selection of the Eurovision Song Contest. The competition was first introduced in 1981. Israel has won the Eurovision Song Contest 3 times. Isa Cohen and Alphabeta in 1978 and Milk and Honey in 1979 took part in the Israel Song Festival, emerged as winners of the pre-selection, and went on to win the Eurovision Song Contest. Dana International, the Israeli winner in 1998, was chosen in an internal selection contest and not at Kdam. History of the Israeli song selection. 1960s. In the 1960s, particularly with the 1963 Eurovision Song Contest, Israeli singers were able to represent other European countries rather their home country, as this was before there were television broadcasts in Israel. That year, Israel was represented by Esther Oferim for Switzerland, and Carmela Corrin for Austria. Regular television broadcasts of broadcasts in Israel began in May 1968. 1970s. In 1972, Ilanit and Shlomo Zach argued that the Israel Broadcasting Authority was entitled to participate in the Eurovision Song Contest, since it was a member of the European Broadcasting Union. IBA agreed and asked that Ilanit represent Israel at the Eurovision Song Contest in Edinburgh in 1972. But the registration period had already closed for the 1972 competition, thus Israel's first participation was delayed by 1 year. In 1973, Ilanit won the bid to represent Israel in Luxembourg at that year's Eurovision Song Contest, becoming the first official Israeli entry to Eurovision. A committee of the IBA was in charge of selecting the song. Ehud Manor and Nurat Hirsch wrote the chosen song, Isham, in Hebrew, although in that year's contest, entrants did not have to sing in their national languages. Manor explained that they saw the importance of having that song represent Israel in Hebrew, but were concerned that the tone of the words not be jarring to the ears of European listeners. Ilanit placed 4th in the first ever Israeli entry. In later years, a selection committee continued to choose the acts to be sent on behalf of Israel, including the band Kavaret with Natati Larkaye, Shlomo Artzi with Atvani, and the trio Chocolate, Mentor, Mastic with Emma Shalom. In 1977, Israel sent back Ilanit for a second time, with Ahava Haisha Lishnoyim. After the second Ilanit showing in 1977, the method of voting was changed. In the next 2 years, 1978 and 1979, Israel's Eurovision entrants were the winners in the Israel Song Festival. In both cases, the songs won the Eurovision title. The songs were Abani by Isa Cohen in 1978 and Hallelujah by Milk and Honey in 1979. 1980s. After winning with Hallelujah, Israel had the right to host the 25th Eurovision contest. But the Israeli budget was not large enough to host 2 consecutive contests. Instead, the competition took place that year in The Hague, Netherlands, and was set to Yom HaZikaron, forcing Israel to cancel its participation. Although a selection contest had been organized and a winning song called Pismon Chosa had been chosen and was going to be interpreted by Hakam V'Hichayot. In 1981, it was decided to change the main selection process competition for Israeli artists through competition under Kdam Eurovision. The first such competition was held on 3 March 1981. The band Haka All Over Habibi won the competition in 1981, for 26th Eurovision contest in Dublin with the song, Halila. Among the prominent Kdam songs that competed were, Cinderella, by Sexta, Hora, by Avi Toledano and Vastataya by Yigal Bashan. The 1984 Eurovision Song Contest in Luxembourg was again set on Yom HaZikaron Memorial Day and Israel cancelled its participation yet again. Israel had already picked the song, Balalaika, by singer Ilanit for the year's competition but without conducting any pre-Eurovision contest. Kdam Eurovision Song Contest returned for 1985, 1986 and 1987. Among the prominent artists in this period were Yardina Arazi, Avi Toledano, Ofra Hazar, Svakapik, Ilana Avital, Izar Cohen, Doran Mazur. Trio established specifically for the competition, Yigal Bashan, Uzi Hitman, Yonatan Miller, and the ensemble Isolé Band. In 1988, IBA suspended the Kdam competition as a cost-cutting measure and decided to send Yardina Arazi to Eurovision in light of the achievements of previous competitions. Yardina Arazi performed 4 songs with selected the song, Ben Adam. Kdam returned in 1989, with Gillian Gallet with Derek Kamalek, but in 1990 Rita was selected without competition one more time. 1990s In 1991, 1992, 1993, 1995 and 1996, the Kdam Eurovision competitions were held. The 1993 Kdam was won by the band Cyril Sharon and the Sharu Group, a band formed especially for the competition. It finished 24th place in the Eurovision Song Contest itself. Due to the changed policies in the Eurovision Song Contest, 24th place prevented Israel from participating in Eurovision Song Contest 1994. In 1996 Kdam was won by Galit Bell, an unknown singer at the time, whose song never managed to reach the Eurovision finals. This is because in that year the European Broadcasting Union re-established an early selection process eliminating 7 songs that they felt were the worst. The Israeli song, Hello World, was one of those 7. In 1997, Eurovision was scheduled to take place on Yom HaShoah. A few months earlier, the Knesset passed an amendment to postpone Holocaust Remembrance Day by a day if it fell on a Saturday, Jewish Sabbath. IBA tried to register for competition after the Knesset decision, but late registration meant Israel could not compete. In 1998, IBA decided to select the song through a committee. That year, Israel went on to win with the song, Diva, by Dana International. The following year, in 1999, the Eurovision Song Contest took place in Jerusalem, with the Israeli entry, Yom Holodet, by Eden. 2000's Indiana, 2000 IBA Authorities Committee chose the song, Samich, by Ping Pong, a band consisting of 2 journalists Roy Arad and Guy Asif, with girls Yifat Giladi and Tahal Aden. The selection process caused controversy after radio entertainer, writer Irit Linor, one of the committee members, declared that she was uninterested. When Linor was asked whether she thought Ping Pong's singing stood a chance, Linor replied, "Who cares?" The band's performance was based mainly on provocative gimmicks, with the music video performed with cucumbers. In addition, the lyrics were considered by many as being shallow, superficial and stupid. The Ping Pong band members also declared their intention to appear on stage in Stockholm, where they would raise the flags of Israel and Syria. Opponents claimed to the band that Syria is an enemy state, hence raising the flag for the State of Israel is an embarrassment. Others said they were bothered with 2 controversial kisses, one between 2 men and one between 2 women. During the week before the Eurovision Song Contest, the band visited the Syrian community in Stockholm to perform. The band eventually appeared on stage in Stockholm with the Israeli and Syrian flags. Israel finished 22nd out of 24 songs. In 2001, Kdam returned for one more year, picking Tal Sondak, who placed 16th with Endava. From 2002 to 2004, Israel chose Sarat Haddad, Lior Narkish and David Dorr in a selection procedure similar to the selection of Yardina Arazi in 1988. The Kdam Eurovision competition took place again in 2005, and was won by Shiri Maimon. She came in 4th in the Eurovision Song Contest itself. In 2006, Eddie Butler won the Kdam. In 2007, Mordecai Shkar cancelled the competition for budgetary reasons. In 25-26 February 2008, Kdam Eurovision was broadcast, first by the Channel 2 concessionaire, Keshet, in cooperation between the IBA and the Israeli reality television show, Kokav Nolad, modeled on the British pop idol and American Idol. The show had a pre-produced format in which the privately pre-selected artists presented 4 different songs in front of a panel of judges to by selection of the viewing public. The song, Kelukan, was chosen. In 2009, Kdam Eurovision returned to be produced by the IBA only. Noah and Palestinian origin Myra Awad were pre-selected as a duo and performed 4 songs. There Must Be Another Way was chosen. In 2010, Hellscott was chosen by the IBA and upon presenting 4 songs, Milim was chosen. In 2011, both the singer and the song were chosen by the public. IBA contacted various artists through their agents asking them to participate. The national final was broadcast on March 8, 2011 from the Culture Hall in Rishon LeZion. The winner was Dana International and her song, Ding Dong. Prominent singers. Zedvika picked the Israeli artist that has appeared the most in Kdam Eurovision competitions is Zedvika Pick. Pick took part 7 times but never won. However, a song he wrote won the Eurovision itself. Diva was sung by Dana International. Yadina Arazi singer Yadina Arazi represented Israel 3 times at the Eurovision and hosted the Eurovision held in Jerusalem in 1979. Her first appearance in Kdam Eurovision Song Contest was in 1982 with the song. She came in second. In 1983, she performed the song, also by Shimritter and Henry Barter, again coming second and just 1 point shy of the winning song. Years later, Arazi revealed that there was an error in the vote counting, and that she was the true qualifier and not Ofra Hazza. Arazi did not challenge the decision because she did not want to be seen as a sore loser. In 1984, Arazi was chosen to represent Israel without competition, but as the contest was held on Yom HaZikaron, she was forced to renounce her right when Israel withdrew that year. In 1985, Arazi participated for the 3rd time in Kdam with the song We'll Get, written by Ehud Manor and Avi Toledano, and came in 3rd. In 1987, she hosted the Kdam. In 1988, she was pre-selected performing 4 songs, with the song Ben Adam winning 1st place, but finished 7th in the Eurovision Song Contest. Avi Toledano, singer and composer Avi Toledano, took part for the first time in 1981 with the song Carnival. In 1982 he won with Hora, and represented Israel at the Eurovision Song Contest where he was runner-up. Both were his own compositions. In 1983 he composed the song Hype by Ofra Hazza that finished as runner-up at the Eurovision Song Contest. In 1985 he wrote Yadina Arazi's song. In 1986 he won 3rd place. In 1989 he returned as composer and performer, finishing 2nd. In 1991 he composed the song Hava Nagala Discovered, sung by Uri Feynman. Other prominent singers competing at Kdam Eurovision: Yigal Bashan, Lialu Partin, Shalva Berti, Doran Mazza, Zehava Ben, Shlomo Gronish, Daphne Armani, Sarat Haddad twice, Eti Ankri, Ricky Gal, Corinne Elal, Rita, Boaz Sharabi, David Dor have won once. Ilana Vital appeared 4 times at Kdam Eurovision, but did not make it to Eurovision stage. Israel at Eurovision. Contestants